You may think that you don't meditate because you don't have time, because you cannot find a spot in your schedule, or because you don't know how to meditate, or because you cannot sit for a long time, or because you are not good enough in terms of skill. But let me tell you, that's really not the case. And this is important. Otherwise, you will be always feeling in this situation where you're trying to do it and you never find the way of doing it. Sometimes through a book, through friends, through gurus, through YouTube videos, you may say, yes, I really want to meditate. This is very good. Maybe your doctor have recommended it. Maybe you read an article on how good it is. And you fail to do it on the next day, or maybe after a few days. The reason for that, it is because we all have some underlying patterns in our mind. Think about when you are falling asleep, you slowly, your brain switches into different frequencies and you go into dreaming. Most of the time, for most people, unconscious, but you understand the idea there are some background processing, deep layers of your mind. And we are most of the time in the thinking superficial mind. And as you go to meditate, the meditation is gonna sink you inside of your own mind so you can penetrate through it. But everybody has certain layers. Think about when you were a child and something sort of traumatized you emotionally. I'm not saying that you may have lived a dangerous situation or something like that, but a kid can be very sensitive and can get things wrong and can get traumatized by simple things. So whatever reason, there is layers inside of us of feelings that we have been accumulating of stress and traumatic emotions that we are trying to avoid. That's the whole point of entertainment, the whole point of watching your phone instead of just sitting for a while and just enjoying breathing or just being. We need to be doing something because we cannot stand going deeper. We accumulate these layers of stress. So the only solution, the biggest strategy nowadays is to get super hype with, imagine, caffeine kind of thing, or workaholics, and then drop completely tired down watching Netflix or something like that. So you don't need to see what is inside. And that strategy goes for a while and sometimes may be even correct. Sometimes, okay, yeah, just go and watch a movie, enjoy yourself. You don't need to be facing your problems every day and every time. But in general, in the long run, you want to actually face it. And the reason why meditation is so hard is because meditation is going to help you go deeper into that. And our reflex in our mind, we have trained ourselves to avoid it and to look for stimulus. So your mind will tend to get distracted all the time. That is actually the point. It's not that you're meditating wrong. It is because that's the way we continue suffering. And we don't understand how or why. You may have even a relatively comfortable life. Most people do. Of course, there's always something you would like to change. But in general, compared to 300 years ago, you're probably pretty well. Instead of, you can eat every day, you can sleep in a warm bed, and so on. So the reason why we keep suffering, and we suffer probably more than 300 years ago, it is because we keep all this software running in the back of our minds. So when you go and you sit to meditate, our mind distracts us. That's why many meditations, you will see how they insist on the idea of be patient, just try to go back to it. It's not just a training situation for your attention. It's not like you're trying to concentrate. No, you are releasing trauma every time you let go of this impulse to think about something else. And you just stay with this moment. You stay with your objects. You stay with your breath or your belly or sounds or anything that inspires you, any object of meditation that inspires you. Stick with it. And you're going to see how your mind is trying to go away all the time. There's a reason for that. It's not that you're bad at concentrating. It's not that your attention sucks. Yes, most people have attention deficit disorder. Not just the one who are diagnosed. In general, everyone, you can see with their phones. They cannot stand 1 minute making a line without checking on the phone. That's okay. That's okay. But it implies that our mind is constantly scattered, and that's the definition of suffering. what our ancestors have found that is the reason for our suffering is actually related to that scattering of the mind. So it's not just a simple attention training. You are healing your mind. So there's something in you that doesn't want to meditate because you will have to face certain feelings that you don't want to feel. And allow yourself to not go deeper than you want to go. So I'm not saying you should force yourself to meditate because you need to smell your past. And no, I'm not saying that. You need to be ready. If you're not ready to open the Pandora's box, the black box of whatever happened to you in the past, just don't do it. Instead, you can do certain other things. You can sit and just do nothing, just be accustomed to sit and do nothing special. That is actually more profound than it looks at first. Just don't get engaged in deep thinking. Just stay there and just feel the present. That's a good entry point. If you're able to do that every day, here's my suggestion, my tip. Do it every day. That way you will break this dynamic of, I'm going to meditate. And you go for the meditation. And maybe it's a very powerful meditation. That's the problem, that you're actually doing it right. And then it takes a lot of you to actually go back to doing it. So the solution for that is twofold. One, the first one that I suggest is to do it anyway, even just for 1 minute every day. And just do something simple. You can do some breathing. You can count breaths, and just go. You can count to 10. Most people suggest to do that. I would say in the beginning, you could count to anything. It will prevent you from getting lost in thinking. So just do that for a few moments, for 5 minutes, or even, as I said, just 1 minute, but do it every day and check it on your calendar. That way, you're going to break a very profound dynamic of your mind of avoiding feeling yourself. In the other way, it is by actually having a good methodology for meditation, which I don't have time to cover it right now, but I always recommend the book of The Mind Illuminated by Chula Dasa. And the idea is very simple. Just find an object and go back to it all the time. These methodologies are from religious singing and preaching and mantras to close to every spiritual training has some sort of something like that. Pick something that it fits you, it fits your background, and just let go of all the distractions. And don't feel bad if you feel distracted all the time. Just the fact that you're sitting is a great success. As someone said, I don't remember who was, said, there's no wrong meditation. No, the only wrong meditation is the one that you don't do. So not sitting is the only mistake.